Hello and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about long distance relationships and tips on how to make them work and things that we did to make ours work. So Lana and I entered into a long distance relationship during COVID in 2020, and we were apart fully for 2 years until I was able to make it to Dubai in 2022. So we have a lot of experience with long distance, and then once I was able to come in Dubai, we were like back and forth. Well, I was back and forth a lot, 2 months in Dubai and 2 months at home and 3 months in Dubai kind of thing. So we are experts at long distance.
Here's some of our tips on how to make it work.
So our first tip is to send voice messages over text messages. So we did send a lot of text messages, but we really tried to send voice messages more than text messages because you can just say way more in a voice message than you can throughout a text. You can also give like emotion to your voice, and you can give like emotion if you're talking, if you're sad or things like that, and the other person can kind of like give you some comfort just by hearing their voice if they're laughing, and it's much more personable. And text messages, like so many times, like you can be like, oh my gosh, they're mad at me, or like, oh my gosh, like they're annoyed, or why aren't they talking, did they mean this, did they mean that? So voice messages are way better.
How many times you got a text and you didn't know what the person feels? Are they mad? Are they happy? Are they sad? Like, are they angry at you? You wouldn't know. But with the voice message, you get that energy and you get that vibe, and it's a great opportunity to just literally stare at the wall and keep recording for 15-20 minutes. Just chat with your partner and just, we used to call it what did you call it? I'm just rambling.
Rambling, yeah.
And just ramble around for 15-20 minutes, and your partner can listen at any point, and like when they're going to work or when they're at the gym or anywhere, they can just hear your voice talking and rambling for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Just open your recorder and your chats and just talk for 15-20 minutes. Talk while you're walking, talk while you're going to work. Your partner will get your text and get your voice message and get to also experience it and then reply with another one, and that's how it works.
And then the last thing I want to say about voice messages, I would always listen to like Aladdin's voice messages like on repeat if you want to. Like if you're going to bed, like you just like miss them, it's a really easy way to like feel connected to them because you can listen to their voice even if they're sleeping or they're not there to talk to you.
The next tip, which is extremely important in our opinion, is make plans. Know your end, let me say the end game or the end goal. Know when are you gonna be together again. When is this long distance relationship gonna end, because it cannot be sustained forever. Once you have a goal and you work towards that goal together, then it becomes easier with the time.
Figure out who is going to be moving. Does someone need to get a new job? You have to figure out like, are they going to move? Are you going to move? Where are you going to move? Maybe you're both going to move to a new town together. Just really trying to figure out what the plan is going to be so that you are not going to be long distance forever. So our next tip is to learn your love language. If you've never heard of a love language before, look it up. It is so helpful. There is a test you can do. We'll put it in the description. There's books on it. There's podcasts on it. There's videos on it. There is so much things about love languages. If you want us to do a video on love language specifically, let us know in the comments and we'll do one. But learning how your partner gives love and also receives love is so important because it's going to give you the opportunity to love your partner better. My love language specifically is words of affirmation, which means I like letters, I like voice messages, I like being told I'm doing a great job, and words of encouragement, like any kind of words are things that I love.
My love language is acts of service. That's how I receive love. For example, we had a very difficult time. Melissa had a very difficult time to show me that. She did a few things which I found great. So instead of buying me a coffee, she would figure out a way to send me like a coffee gift card online. She would send me like a snack, literally a snack through the mail. So I'd receive it after 2 or 3 weeks, but I'd receive a snack from her so I can take it to work and I have a snack in the car. So work around with your love languages, understand them, talk about them, and figure out inventive and creative way to apply them.
So the 5 love languages are acts of service, words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch, and quality time. So some of these are going to be difficult to show your partner because like physical touch, you are not physically present with them. That's going to be extremely difficult to do. But for example, there's certain things like you can research. There are bracelets now where it's like if you touch it, like where we could both wear a bracelet, it'll like vibrate to like kind of in a way touch your partner, and you just have to kind of be creative with it. But just learning your love languages is going to be so helpful.
Now the next tip, which relates very strongly with the making a plan tip, it's not enough to just make a plan. So once you make a plan, you need to set a timeline, and it depends on you. It might be years, it might be months, it might be weeks. That's completely fine. Once you have your timeline, start setting goals in that timeline. So you need to actively, both of you, work on it. For example, our example, I needed a visa. I started working with that for a couple of years.
Yes.
Melissa had to change her work to be remote so she can move and come and then go back.
Yes.
I had to find a new place so Melissa can come and stay with me. So actively work on that plan. It's gonna help you mentally to be prepared and to be moving forward, because if you don't work on your plan, you're not gonna move forward, and that's unfortunately gonna be so hard on both of you.
And then that's the other thing, seeing your partner like work on the plan also like kind of like gives you the affirmation they want this relationship, they love you, like they're wanting to work with you to get there. Because if one person is working and the other person is not working towards the plan, the kilter is going to be off. So
Yes.
it's really important to work together with the plan and continuing to talk about the plan and like making sure you're like both on the same path. It's not going to be an everyday conversation, and it's not going to be something that's going to be fixed overnight. So it's kind of like a plan, and plans change and adapt, and just like learning how to figure that out as you go. The next tip is a schedule is super important. And what this means is like for us, we had a weekly Zoom booked. Every Sunday we would Zoom, and it would change the time depending on Aladdin's work schedule, and that's totally fine, but we knew like every Sunday we would Zoom.
It's extremely also important to keep that date, know and respect that this is your time, and this helps build your trust, it helps build communication, it helps you keep updated with each other, because remember, if you missed that day, you might miss it for the next week, you might not, you never know. So cherish the chances that you get, make a schedule, be creative about it.
The other thing is you guys are not together all the time. So having a date that you know, okay, like I will get to see them on Sunday. I'll get to Zoom with them on Sunday. I will get to FaceTime with them Sunday. Like make it to Sunday and it's okay. The weeks and the days can feel so long and lonely sometimes, but like knowing like when you're going to FaceTime with them or like see them on video calls next is extremely helpful. So it's so important to schedule those and like keep the schedule and like know.
Be creative with it. There's a lot of things you can do now. Melissa has definitely showed me a lot. She would bring games. We'd play online games like drawing, sketching, kids games, it's fine. We'd get some trivia. Now you can actually watch movies together. So let's say at the end of the day, it's Friday night, Saturday night, whenever, you can start a movie and like literally leave your phones on the charge and everybody watch the movie at the same time, and you can talk.
And always come, I would say, like to that date with like some kind of idea, either like it's questions you're gonna ask.
Another idea you can also try, and again you feel free to search for a million other ideas. This one can be to switch interests for a week. So Melissa brought this up. She told me like this show that she likes or radio show she listens to, and I had to experience it for a week. So I would literally, instead of listening to my music or reading my book or doing that, I would listen to her show. And I told her about the show that I liked, and she did watch it for a week, and then we talked about it. Spoiler alert, we didn't like each other's shows, which is fine.
Yeah.
But at least I felt like I'm doing something that I would do. If we're in the car and we're listening to the show, we'll listen to it. So that was something really cool. You might also try it.
Yeah. The next tip that really worked for us is to save some stories and save some things from your week to talk about during your online date. For example, if you saw a friend and like got updated on their life and stuff like that, maybe something was funny, you can just like tell your partner that you went to see this friend, but maybe don't tell them everything about it. Save a story or two from that interaction to tell on your date, so you have things to talk about. And during the week, you're not over talking, you're not oversharing, so that when you do have your dates, then you are not like, well, what am I going to talk about? Because I've already shared everything.
Yeah, one thing I would do to go through with this, hey, I'm visiting friend X today,
Mm-hmm.
and then okay, enjoy while I'm there and enjoy my time. And when I'm leaving, I'm like, oh my god, do I have a story to tell you? We'll talk about it on our date.
Yes.
So that's, you keep them informed, and you don't forget the story because it might be a week later.
Yeah.
And third thing is, you actually, when you get to your date, you're like, oh, here is the story, and then you have some time talking about it. So that's it.
Yeah.
That's very simple. However, it's extremely effective, you'd find.
Yes, we found that really worked for us, and Alan was very good at that, being like, oh, I have like 7 things to tell you, 3 things about work and like 1 thing about this. So also, like, when I came, I was like really excited, like, okay, tell me all the stories, I want to know everything that happened.
Yeah,
so,
to be like, okay, what do you want to listen about?
yeah, which one do you want to hear first?
Yeah.
So that one worked really well.
Last but not least, and very important, both of you need to understand this is a long distance relationship. What does it mean? What is the limitations? You need to respect that for each other. You need to give yourself the opportunity to work with it. So yes, there's gonna be limitations. Yes, it's gonna be hard. However, there's gonna be other opportunities that you can work with it, that you can make it work until you reach when it's done. And the goal at the end, as we said before, is to finish the long distance relationship and make it a physical relationship.
Right. So for us, knowing we're in a long distance relationship, sometimes in some weeks were harder for me, maybe some weeks were harder for you, especially when you're like missing the people, and during holidays, those are really hard times. So also having to understand on both sides, one partner needs to be understanding that the other person is like, it's their birthday and you're not together, so they may need to be a little more present that day, but then also understanding like they can't always be present all the time.
It's really tricky, as you can already tell. Having the baseline of both of you understanding that, and then working together to accept it and work with it is really important.
One advantage that you do have in your relationship right now, and you have to remember that it is an advantage, is the only thing you guys have right now is communication. So learning about each other is like what's going to happen now, so that when you are in person, like, you know everything about them. Like, you know what they like to eat for breakfast. Are they loud and obnoxious outside? Do they want to make new friends?
They snore when they sleep.
Yeah. So like learning about everything about them right now is so important.
Learn about your partner. That's a perfectly great idea. When you reach the point when you meet each other again, it's gonna be seamless. When me and Melissa met after 2 years of being away, it felt like we've been together this afternoon.
Totally. For sure. Yeah. The other thing is, I knew everything, like, and so did you. You knew what I expected in a way from you. You knew that, like, I don't like dishes in the sink. I like them on the counter, like, just like things like that. Like, I know that you don't like to leave laundry in the washer. Like, it's just like little tiny things that are gonna matter over time. And like, you are getting to learn that before you are together. So like taking this time to like learn about each other is so important and is so helpful, and it will help you in your relationship when you are together.
Yeah, please don't surprise each other after a long time just talking online.
Yeah.
Think of it as a person, think of it, and think if you want that for your partner or you want that for yourself.
The last kind of bonus tip, but not tip, is you must trust your partner. So without trust, you're not going to have a lasting long distance relationship, because it just won't work. And you're also going to bicker more, and like, it just will not go well if you're not going to trust your partner. But along with trusting your partner has to make you trust them also, by showing up to the dates that you plan on time and like giving you information about their life, just things like that. Taking pictures and sending the videos from their days sometimes, like if they go somewhere cool, they're somewhere new, or like they had something new for dinner, like including you in their daily life also is going to help gain trust. So trust is an extremely major tip, but it's not one that we included in our 7.
Important, very important, as Melissa said. Remember, everything works both ways.
Yes.
Do the same for your partner. Keep them in the loop. Keep them feel safe. As they keep you feeling safe, everything would work.
Yeah.
Those were our tips for long distance relationships. We hope if you're in a long distance relationship that it works.
Definitely.
We believe in you.
Yes.
We made it work, and anybody can make it work.
Yes.
We hope this helps you in your journey in your long distance relationship.
Yes.
It can work, and it does work. However, it needs to be an effort, a collective effort of both partners.
Totally. If you liked today's video and you found any of our tips helpful, please hit the like button. And maybe you have someone in your life who's going through a long distance relationship or maybe debating on getting in a long distance relationship. Share this video with them for a little bit of encouragement.
If you have any tips of your own or any questions, you can please drop them in the comment. And if you'd like to see the rest of our journey, feel free to subscribe and follow our channel. One another idea that you can guess one another. Our next tip is
Earlier. It's like including you.
including you.